The year is 2021. The Phoenix Suns just took a commanding 2-0 series lead in the NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. We all know how that series ends. The Bucks win in 6, Giannis drops 50 in Game 6, but there's a lot of optimism in Phoenix because you're led by 24-year-old rising superstar Devin Booker, and you get to build around them for years to come. But that wasn't it for the young core in Phoenix. You had a 24-year-old in Mikal Bridges. You had a 22-year-old in DeAndre Ayton, who you drafted first overall a few years back. Yeah, sure, Chris Paul was getting up there in age, but there was a lot to build around in Phoenix. The reality for the Suns, they never made it back. They never even made it back to a conference finals. Now, they might have the bleakest future in the NBA while being led by dysfunction. So, how do we get here? How did the Suns go from a bright future to a dysfunctional one? Well, let's look back to the moment Crack started the show. We all remember this iconic photo. And this photo will haunt Suns fans forever, as 2022 was supposed to be their year. The Suns finished the regular season as the best team. They had 64 wins. And in the second round, had a 3-2 series lead. And then we all know what happened. Luka happened. The 23 season marked a huge shift for the Suns. So let's fast forward to February 6, 2023. The Suns sit at a mediocre 29-26 record. This date is a huge date for the Suns' recent history because this is when Matt Ishbia became the owner. Matt Ishbia brought a different philosophy in the fact that he was so aggressive. He wanted to go all in and right away. And boy, did he make his presence felt. 3 days later, February 9th, the Phoenix Suns traded for Kevin Durant. For the Suns, the trade is essentially this. Kevin Durant and TJ Warren are coming to Phoenix for Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, 4 unprotected first-round picks, and a pick swap to the Brooklyn Nets. And Kevin Durant didn't really get time to accolade with the Suns because he only plays 8 games while he's dealing with an ankle injury. So it's not really that big of a deal that they lose in the second round to the juggernaut, what was the 2023 Denver Nuggets. The offseason prior to the 2024 season is why we're having this video today. This is the reason why the Suns are in such a disastrous situation. So let's go through all the things that the Suns did, starting with trading disgruntled big man DeAndre Ayton. If they trade Ayton to Portland, a part of the Damian Lillard trade, it's not the worst trade for the Suns. Essentially, they trade DeAndre Ayton to the Blazers for Grayson Allen from the Bucks and Yusuf Nurkic from the Blazers. Let's start with Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen has been a good pickup for the Suns. In Phoenix, he's averaging about 13 points on 45% from behind the arc. He also did do this last night to send this game to overtime.
To Allen, Grayson hoists it up, gets the bucket, 1.2. Hardy trying to get his defensive pieces set. O'Neal fires over the top, Grayson gets one away.
After the 2024 season, the Suns signed Grayson Allen to a 4-year, $70 million contract. It's a lot of money, but after the season he had in 2024, they had to pay him. And that contract is a part of the mess of a contract situation the Suns are in right now. But let's talk about that in a little bit. Before that, let's talk about the Suns getting Yusuf Nurkic in this deal. And Nurkic is the definition of a guy who is empty calories. He's a box score stuffer, and he's not that good of an NBA player. And that's why the Suns literally traded him 2 days ago at the deadline, giving up a first-round pick to get him off the basketball team. With that being said, trading DeAndre Ayton for Grayson Allen and Yusuf Nurkic, that's not a deal that is catastrophic. So why is the 2024 offseason so catastrophic? Well, we all know why. The move that killed the Suns was the Bradley Beal deal. At the time, a lot of people thought it was a decent trade. They didn't give up too much to acquire him, and Bradley Beal's a hell of a scorer. The fit was a little weird, but the Suns didn't give up too much. They gave up Chris Paul, who they were already getting rid of, and they traded 2 pick swaps. That's not too bad for a guy who's a really good scorer. With that being said, there was a glaring red flag with Bradley Beal, and that was he's on a supermax and has no move clause. So the Suns went all in, pushing their chips in the middle, paying Kevin Durant the max, paying Bradley Beal the max, paying Devin Booker the max, thinking they could win a championship now and kick the can down the road. Who cares about our future? The 2024 season was so important for the Suns because they had such an expensive roster. They had the 4th highest payroll in the NBA that season. The thing is, there's no flexibility with the Suns. They know Bradley Beal's on a no-trade clause. Kevin Durant, they're not going to trade. And Devin Booker, they're obviously not going to trade. So they had to win now. Suns owner Matt Ishbia even talked about it. They need to contend now so then they can shed cap to get out of the second apron. And they did not contend in 2024. Despite having the 3rd best title odds in the NBA, only behind Denver and Boston, the Suns didn't even win a playoff game. They got swept in the first round by the Timberwolves. So essentially, all their efforts going all in, trading for Kevin Durant, trading for Bradley Beal, resulted in 0 playoff wins. So here we are in the present day, 2 days after the trade deadline, and the Suns are 26-25. They're a mess right now. They have the 2nd most expensive roster. They're trending towards mediocrity. With no draft capital, the worst contract in the NBA in Bradley Beal, he doesn't even start for them anymore. They just traded Yusuf Nurkic along with a 1st-round pick to get him off the basketball team. Like, what did the Suns do moving forward? We actually kind of saw their hand. They tried to trade Kevin Durant, and I understand it. Kevin Durant's 36, and he's the only asset that the Suns can move because Bradley Beal won't accept a trade anywhere else. No one wants him. And they can't trade Devin Booker because they have no draft capital. And they can't suck for years to come. So Kevin Durant is the only player on this team who can bring in any type of assets, so they have to try and trade him. They weren't even able to get a deal done. So you can only imagine how toxic that locker room is, and the whole Western Conference got better below them. I think the Suns are probably either going to just make the play-in or miss the playoffs entirely. And now you're with an expensive roster, missing the playoffs. It's the worst thing in basketball, to be expensive and bad. And that's what the Suns are right now. In the offseason, they're probably going to trade Kevin Durant. I don't know who will trade for him. They're probably going to try and get whatever they can for him because they don't want Devin Booker to request a trade soon. If Devin Booker requests a trade and they trade him, what do the Suns do? They have no draft capital. It's just a mess. To be honest, I really don't see the Suns getting out of this mess because they have an owner who's too aggressive for his own good. They have no draft capital. They have an unmovable contract. They don't really have any young talent. Devin Booker isn't young anymore. It just sucks for Suns fans that they blew such a golden opportunity to build a sustainable contender, and they're an absolute tire fire right now. All these moves, getting aggressive, trading your future, trading for Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, is going to make the Suns pay for this for years. And what did they get out of it? Since trading for Kevin Durant, they have 1 playoff series win, and last year, after trading for Bradley Beal, they have no playoff wins. It's just a mess in Phoenix. Alright, if you made it to the end today, please like and subscribe. It means the absolute world if you do. And if you want more content, check out our trade deadline videos. Or if you want something else, check out our positional top 10 list that Evan's working on. He's doing a fantastic job. And it just means the world. Like and subscribe.